Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to talk about some pro wrestling. I want to go back a little bit to WrestleMania. I thought as an event it was a pretty good event. I thought night 2 was better than night 1, but night 1 still had some good stuff on it. I really enjoyed Rhea versus Becky. I enjoyed Sammy versus Gunther, and the main event, it was a bit too long, but I think it was a good main event as a whole. But as I say, it was a bit too long, but I wouldn't say it was bad by any means. Night 2 was a far better show. My favourite match on night 2, excluding the main event, the best wrestling match on night 2 had to be Bayley versus Io. Because let's be honest, the main event was all about the chaos and all of the run-ins. But I say that, but even before all of the run-ins and all of the chaos started, I thought it was a good main event even before that started. But I just enjoyed Bayley and Io more as a complete wrestling match, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Cody Rhodes obviously finished his story. So yeah, fair play to Cody Rhodes, and I thought everybody played their roles really well in the main event. I just want to give a special mention to The Rock, because when The Rock first came back to really set up the Mania stuff, obviously it seemed like we were gonna get The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and then the crowd reacted the way that they did, and then they changed plans. I don't care what anybody says, they changed plans. You can clearly tell they were going to do Rock versus Roman, and then they were smart enough to detour. But fair play to The Rock, because most people would have said no. On the main event, it's my match, I'm facing Roman. But The Rock was smart enough to realise the crowd are just gonna boot out of the building, and they don't like me at the moment, so I might as well play into it. And you'll be surprised how many wrestlers are stubborn when they got their mind made up on something. But as I said, fair play to The Rock, showing enough self-awareness in a wrestling sense to realise I'm not gonna get cheered at all. So I might as well go heel. So yeah, as I said, as an event, it was a really good event. Unfortunately, obviously, it's a absolute shame that Rhea got hurt a couple weeks after. Just an absolute shame. And obviously, I would have said they probably, based off what they did the night after Mania, it seems like they were leading towards a Liv Rhea match, and that would have been a good match in my opinion. But obviously Rhea got hurt, so speedy recovery to Rhea. And you never want to see anybody get injured. So hopefully Rhea will come back stronger than ever. And when she comes back, I would present Rhea as a full-on babyface, because the crowd the crowd love her. The crowd love her anyway, and when she comes back, the crowd will go electric for Rhea. So when she does come back, I would present her as a baby face, to be honest. And I can also see Liv and Dominic being put together based off last week's Raw episode when I had Dom backstage and then he turns round and then Liv's right there and Liv looks at Dominic, and don't forget Liv said, "I'm gonna take everything from you." And obviously because Rhea had to vacate the belt on Raw, they did a battle royal. I don't really like determining the champion by battle royals. I just think it's stupid, to be honest. I've never liked determining the champion by battle royals. And to be honest, let's be honest, the crowd did not really care until it was like the final three or like the final two. The crowd was silent, and unfortunately that's an indictment on the women's division, the way that they've been presented. A lot of the talent in the division, the crowd doesn't really seem to care about. And that's unfortunate because there's a lot of talented performers in the division, but the way that they've been presented on TV, the crowd are just not into them. And as I say, there's a lot of talented performers, but the way that they've been presented, the crowd just don't care. That's a shame, but it is what it is. And then when it got down to the final two, obviously they gave the belt to Becky. Honestly, I think that was the right decision, because I think you could tell a better story with Liv not winning the belt than winning the belt, if you know what I mean. Because what you could do is you could turn Liv fully heel, and then you could have Liv beat Becky for the belt. I would say Backlash, but are you really gonna turn Liv heel in a week? I don't know. They might do, or they might just do Becky versus somebody like Piper Niven at Backlash, and then they'll do Liv stuff in the build up to Money, what the next premium live event, Money in the Bank. So they could do that. Or what I could see them doing, which I would not agree with, but I could see them doing it. I could see them rushing a number one contending match and having Liv win that and then face Becky at Backlash. That's what I could see them doing. And then having Liv turn heel at Backlash to win the belt. Maybe have Dominic help her or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe you could have Liv cheat to win. But whatever happens, it should be interesting. I understand why the Liv fans were annoyed, but honestly I think this will be a better story for Liv long term. Her not winning the belt on Raw. They also teased a heel turn for Tommaso Ciampa, so we'll have to wait and see how and that played out, and they turned Ludwig Kaiser. They made Ludwig Kaiser turn on Ronnie Vinci. So I'm interested to see what they do with Ludwig Kaiser. And to be honest, even though WWE week to week can be quite a slog, like it can be quite the way I describe WWE sometimes under Triple H, Paul Levesque, whatever you want to call him. It's very like long term focused. Like week to week, it can be quite a chore to sit through. But you can see the pieces being put into place, if you know what I mean. And speaking of heel turns, Chad Gable turned heel on Sami Zayn in his hometown, and the promo that Chad Gable cut last week. I mean, I don't know how to put this into words, but it was like I expected something with a bit more spite in it, if you know what I mean. Like I expected Chad Gable to be like a machine and be all intense, but it wasn't like that. It was like the other members of the Alpha Academy. It was like your disappointment, you're dumb, and whatever. It was like, okay, that's a bit weak. That's a bit weak. Like, you know what I mean? I expected when Chad Gable turned heel, I expected it to be like a proper intense Chad Gable, but it seems to be like just a standard heel character. And no doubt Chad Gable will be able to pull it off, but it's just a bit disappointing, if you know what I mean. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. So on SmackDown they started the draft, the WWE draft. To be honest, I find the draft stupid, because I know in a couple of weeks they'll find a way for somebody to be on the other show anyway. So I just think it's stupid, if I'm being honest. But I understand why they do it. They called up Carmella Hayes. They clearly have big plans for Carmella Hayes. So we'll have to see and wait how it plays out. They've also set up Tiffany Stratton versus Bayley versus Naomi in a triple threat match for Backlash. I could easily see them giving the belt to Tiffany Stratton, but I could also see Bayley retaining and then Tiffany winning the Money in the Bank. That's probably what they're gonna do, to be honest. If you were to ask me, make a prediction for what they do next, I think they keep the belt on Bayley, and then they have Tiffany win Money in the Bank. That's what I can see. That's what I think they're gonna do. So moving on. I also think at some point they're gonna do Rock versus Cody. I think it's probably gonna either be at SummerSlam or WrestleMania 41. I could easily see it taking place at SummerSlam, but I think if I had to put money on it, I would say WrestleMania 41. That's what I would say if I was putting money on it. But I could see it taking place in either SummerSlam or Mania next year, so we'd have to wait and see. By the way, that rock belt, that rock belt that he has, I think I just think it was The Rock saying to himself, "I want a belt." So there you go. So moving on. So obviously there's been a lot of change in the bloodline. A couple of weeks ago, Tama Tonga debuted and he joined the bloodline, and it seems like Solo Sikoa is going to be the new weekly leader of the bloodline. I say weekly leader because I think ultimately the final boss, The Rock, is going to be the new proper leader. But obviously the Rock's not going to be there every single week. So I can see Solo Sikoa being the new leader every single week on TV and on B events like the Backlash, Money in the Banks, and then obviously when it comes to like your Royal Rumbles, your Manias, your SummerSlams, I think the ultimate leader will be The Rock. Obviously, but as I said, week to week, I think Solo will be the new leader. Week to week. I've also heard that they've signed Jacob Fatu, so I imagine they'll end up putting Jacob Fatu in the bloodline. So that will be interesting. I could see them doing the Usos and Roman versus obviously Solo, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu at some point. And to be honest, I could easily see a scenario where they kick Paul Heyman out. Like they beat up Paul Heyman. To be honest, I thought they were gonna do it this week, to be honest. So moving on a little bit, I wanted to talk about the future of Gunther. I think Gunther will win the King of the Ring, and then he'll go on to face Cody or somebody like that. But the problem is, if he does go on and face Cody, I would like Gunther to beat Cody, but obviously I don't think he will, because I think they're gonna do Cody versus The Rock. So even though I think Cody versus Gunther will be a good matchup, and obviously they've got history from their Royal Rumble encounters, but at the same time, I don't want Gunther to lose his first opportunity at the world bout, if you know what I mean. So I do think, as I said, I do think Gunther will win the King of the Ring, and I could definitely see them doing Cody versus Gunther, but I personally do not want to see that for the reasons that I just mentioned. So moving on to AEW, I really enjoyed Dynasty. I thought Dynasty was the perfect show, to be honest. There was no matches where I was like, well, this is boring, this is crap, this is a down point. There was no matching like that. Every single match, at least for me anyway, delivered to to a degree. Like, if I'm being honest, I didn't really expect to enjoy Willow versus Julia Hart. But you know what? It was actually quite good for what it was. Like, it was a nice match, and it did what it needed to do. It got the belt on Willow, and everybody played their role in the match really well, and the crowd reacted to it well. So they did what they needed to do, and it was a good moment, and the match was decent. So yeah, good stuff. And the main event, I'm going to be honest, after Ospreay versus Danielson, I was like, the main event and even the ladder match, I'm not going to be able to live up to what we've just seen. But you know what? The ladder match was good, and we got a good return in Jack Perry, and the main event that I thought was really gonna be dead ended up being pretty good. The crowd were there for it for the most part, and Samoa Joe did what he needed to do, and he made Swerve look really good. Swerve was just Swerve. He was awesome, and the way the match was set, the way the match was placed, really played into Joe's strength, and as I say, Swerve was tremendous, and the way the crowd reacted to the way Swerve won was awesome. I think Swerve is one of the best performers in AEW, period. And I'm not gonna lie, when you look at what happened on Dynamite last Wednesday, I am a bit concerned that Swerve's title reign is going to take a back seat to the Elite story. I am a bit concerned about that, because when you look at when Samoa Joe was champion, you can tell he was one of the main focal points of the show. But I am a bit concerned that the Elite story is gonna overtake Swerve as champ, and then Swerve is gonna feel like a mid-card champion. And by the way, I know that sounds like an insult, but when you make somebody the world champion, in my opinion, they should be one of the main focal points of the show. And I'm just fearful that Swerve's gonna feel like a complete afterthought as world champion because of this Elite story, which I like. But as I say, I'm just concerned for Swerve moving forward. But we'll have to wait and see. And by the way, I think most of you knew what I meant, but obviously there's nothing wrong with being the TNT champion or anything like that. But the point I was trying to make, when somebody's supposed to be the world champion, the biggest prize in your company, in my opinion, they should be one of the main focal points of your show. and I'm just fearful Swerve will be enough, will be enough, will be enough to vote as world champion. That's what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to disrespect the mid card. Because to be fair to AEW, they do a good job at making the mid card titles mean something. And to be honest, in both companies, they make the mid cards. They make the mid card championship mean something. And to be, it always annoyed me when people say they're mid card performer, and I'm like, not everybody can be in the main event. It's physically not possible for everybody to be in the main event. But it's about how you connect with the audience. Like let's say, like over the years, there's been some great talent that you would never say was main event, kind of like actual main event talent. But there was a strong mid card act that the people enjoyed. So moving on. So I don't know where this elite story is gonna go. Is it gonna go in the direction of elite versus AEW, and they're gonna do like a blood and guts sort of thing between the elite and AEW, and they're gonna have people like Moxley and Swerve, and maybe you could have Adam Page start off on Team AEW and then defect over to the elite. Like, you know, going back to Dynasty for 1 minute, there was one match where I was like, I'm not really into this, and that was the Jericho match. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I just felt like it was like, okay, can we get to the point? To be honest, for me personally, I just can't get into Jericho anymore. To be honest, like when I'm watching him, I just feel like when I'm watching him, I just can't get into him. Like, he just comes across as so flat to me. I just think I need a break from Jericho. Years ago he was credited for knowing when to take a break, but in AEW he's there all the time. No, I don't know whether that's Jericho's decision, or whether that's Tony's decision to be there all the time. But I don't think it helps him at this point in his career to be a weekly TV performer. Cause I just don't care, like this whole hook thing. I don't care, like it's just crap in my opinion. Like, I just don't care. Like, I'm like, okay, give Jericho another bout. Fantastic, marvellous. Now what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not interested in Jericho anymore. Like I'm like, okay, can we can we just get the match over and we will get the segment over with? And 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 I feel like I feel like after Dynasty, AEW are going in the right direction. To be honest, do I enjoy everything on the show? No, but I don't enjoy everything on WWE either. But there's enough good on the show where I can watch it every week comfortably, and that's the same thing on both companies. To be honest, as I said, I don't like everything they put out, but there's enough good on the show to where I can enjoy it week to week. No, I did not enjoy the way they. I did not enjoy it a couple of weeks ago when they showed the all-in footage between Jack Perry and CM Punk. I just thought it was a bit lame, to be honest. You're taking shots at somebody that's not even in your company anymore, that people are loving in the other company, and all because he went on the MMA Hour and slagged you off. It just seemed very petty to me. Now I know they said we are trying to build FTR versus the Bucks, but in my opinion, you did not need to include in my opinion, you could have just referenced the incident without showing the footage. But we all know why they showed the footage, to get the numbers up. But I didn't hear of a massive numbers increase for AEW that week. Yeah, you got people talking, but most of the people talking were just calling you sad and pathetic for showing footage from months ago. That includes somebody that's not even with you anymore as a company. I understand they wanted a way to bring back Jack Perry, but all I'm saying is you could have referenced it without showing the footage. But we all know why they showed the footage. But looking at what they did this week on Dynamite, it seems like AEW can turn it around, and they can make something really good from this if they present it right, and if they build it in the right way, and they don't just try and make it about. They just don't keep mentioning CM Punk. Cause at this point, what the point keep mentioning CM Punk by name? Because obviously he's not going to be involved. So what the point? Obviously people know about CM Punk and Jack Perry. So why do you need to mention CM Punk on TV anymore? I'm hoping now that they did the angle on Wednesday, they'll get back into the AEW. They'll get back into the AEW. I don't want to call it the universe, but you know what I mean, like the AEW realm, and they would just try and build, pieces that that they would just try and build a feud that they can use as a good storyline, if you know what I mean. I forgot to talk about Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay. I don't know how I forgot, because it was one of the best matches of the year so far. Literally everything worked. The way the match was laid out, the story of the match, and it was just awesome. The crowd went into it, and that finish was nasty. And Bryan Danielson does what Bryan Danielson does, and he sold it perfectly. And I've gotten to the point now where I almost expect Bryan Danielson to sound like that. And if there wasn't any questions that Bryan Danielson's the GOAT, this is another match to go into the collection. This match was awesome, and Will Ospreay is definitely on a run of Wrestler of the Year, and you can say the same thing for Bryan Danielson. I can't believe this is Danielson's last year as a full-time performer. Most people, when they're on the last year of being a full-time performer, most of them just do nice, simple matches. Not Bryan Danielson. He's an absolute animal. Think about some of the matches he's had this year. He's had Zack Sabre Jr. in New Japan. He's had all of his TV matches. He's just some unbelievable stuff. And honestly, Bryan Danielson should be in the conversation for best of all time, because even if you look at his run before his WWE run, you can make the argument even before his WWE run, he had a case for being one of the best of all time. And then he had his WWE run, and then he unfortunately had to retire, and then he came back out retirement. Now, he would not. I was thinking when he came out retirement, he's not going to be good as he used to be. He can slow down a lot, but he hasn't. Bryan Danielson is an absolute monster. Honestly, he's one of the best wrestlers of all time, and Will Ospreay is a great performer if you like his style. For me, it depends on the match and the opponent, if I'm being honest. And this match worked for me, and it was just awesome stuff. My match of the year so far. Actually, I don't know. Let me not say that, because I don't know. But what I will say is, Bryan Danielson the GOAT, Will Ospreay great in the right setting, and this was the right setting. The crowd loved it. I loved it. It was awesome. Fantastic. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about everything that I talked about. I know this was a bit of a long one, so I understand if people don't get to the end. But I just wanted to do it all in one big video. So thank you for watching. I will speak to you later. Have a good day. Bye bye. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the support.